drug trade, kidnapping, and urban violence. But does one really know the story, motives, and contributions to society of the world's most violent street gang? El Salvador is a lower middle income Central American country with a population of 6.1 million and a GDP of about $25 billion. Nevertheless, the majority lives in poverty and education opportunities are limited. San Salvador, the capital, is a slum hub controlled by MS-13. MS-13 started in Los Angeles by asylum-seeking Marxist Liberation Front guerrillas during the Salvadoran Civil War. Originally, they started as a Los Angeles vigilante group protecting innocent Salvadorans. When the Civil War ended, the U.S. initiated a mass deportation of Salvadoran refugees, criminal MS-13 members included. They went from vigilantes to criminals due to lack of reintegration policy, no psychological support, and absence of government. Due to the cycle of socialization, the agents, the government, viewed the Maras as worthless, and the targets began to internalize oppression through crime as a form of recognition by the government. Today, they are in a broken truce gang war with Barrio 18 that has caused El Salvador to experience an average of 30 murders a day, August 2015 having been its most violent month in its history. In El Salvador, one must be very careful when getting a tattoo because civilians have been socialized into thinking that only Maras have them. The government has imposed mano dura or iron fist policies that can arrest anyone who so much as dresses like a Mara. This includes having a bald head and goatee combination. Gang members tend to run prisons, with corrections officers taking little to no part in gang-only prison rows. In prison, they have built their own societies with bakeries and infirmaries. They must use their own skills to survive and recruit new members in these overcrowded prisons. One such example is Peña Ciudad Barrios in San Salvador. Why do people join gangs? Slum children glorify gang leaders as people of power that stand up to a corrupt government. A broken home, low education, and poverty are only some of the other external factors. They need to help their families through informal, illegally obtained money. Overall, they fight to be themselves and not give in to what society or any politician wants them to be. Most of their social economy work is an informal economy of drug trade, weapons trade, and murder for hire. They socialize children into normalizing violence and thinking that women are worthless. This causes an increase in teenage violence and femicide. They negatively contribute to El Salvador's formal economy by decreasing the workforce through recruitment and murder, and decreasing El Salvador's tourism industry due to the issuing of travel warnings. The Salvadoran government has recently proposed rehabilitation laws in contrast to mano dura, which provide hope for wanting to change Maras. For a $50 stipend, they are given skills and work in bakeries, chicken farms, or field work. Many NGOs and private organizations work with at-risk youth and Maras to give them skills and opportunity. The government's job is to fund these rehab programs to the maximum. My own liberation ethics calls for second chances and empowering those that take wrong decisions due to lack of options. If I were to talk to a group of Maras, I would tell them this: continue to seek rehabilitation due to new programs being proposed. End drugs and weapons trade, and find advocates who are willing to look for ways to employ you. Demand, non-violently, your rights as humans to targets, the government, and make your voices heard. Do not continue to kill, and instead advocate for those who you originally stood up for against oppressors. These people are the impoverished class, women, and children. Although not readily available, there are opportunities for slum children instead of joining the Mara. One such is Soluciones, which works entirely on gang prevention. For the agent group, the government, make education and basic human rights available to decrease the cycle of violence. Don't have a target, a child in the slum that is too poor to go to school, have to choose between Mara or homelessness and starvation.